There we are, live.
We are live.
Man, it's a whole other week. Another week of going live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I have a really cool toy that I'm going to talk about later.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you ready? What do we got?
Let's see. I'm gonna make it beautiful for y'all. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but every time I play guitar around Denison, I always am doing the same riffs when I was like 17. Um,
It's the nostalgia, man. That's what it is.
yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, you just bring back the old feelings, man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's see. I'm gonna share this so we can let people know that we live.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna. I have something that I want to talk to you about off the top. I'm not gonna
Mm.
lie.
What is it?
Well, I want to make sure that we're recording first. But, basically, I have a controversial T-shirt now available, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the best decision for me or not. So I kind of want
Mm-hmm.
your opinion. Um. All right. Let's see here. Okay, I got it shared. Are you good to go?
I got it shared, man. We are ready. We're good and ready.
Okay.
Because you know it
So,
usually takes a little bit before anybody jumps
yeah,
in
it does.
here.
It does. Man, Darian is always there on the notification gang.
That is true. Darian is on it. He is on it.
I don't know the guy, but he seems like a swell gentleman. I appreciate him because
Yeah.
he's on that
No.
notification gang.
Darian's awesome, man. He's a great guy.
Heck yeah, I appreciate that. So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk about well, Denson. First of all, you tell them a little bit about what our main topic is going to be about. We're getting into tech. As you guys know, this is a consistent topic over the course of the history of the Catchup podcast.
It's a big one.
It's a big one.
So this topic is kind of cool because it's something that I feel like we can kind of touch on later on in the year. But essentially, right now, and most people probably haven't felt it fully, but we are in the midst of a semiconductor shortage. And so
Mhm.
we're pretty much going to be talking about that and what that kind of means going forward, as well as what it means to, average consumers, because um, we're
Ow.
just now starting to feel this.
um.
You good?
Yeah, dude. No, I don't want to talk about it. Um.
Okay.
But yeah. No, it'll be an interesting story, and I think the reason why is partly because not most, but a lot of people are probably like, "What even is a semiconductor?" Right? And so,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, so they're gonna be interested to know what that is and why there's a shortage and why it matters.
Exactly. Why is it important?
Oh balls! Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we want to talk about that and a lot more. As always, we want you guys to get involved in the conversation. We're gonna have a lot of
Get
discussable topics tonight.
involved,
That's
please.
right. Please, and if you have any questions about these semiconductors or anything else that we're going to talk about, including where to buy this good, clean merch I got on right now,
Yes, yes,
well,
yes,
let's go
yes.
ahead and get into it. And that's actually kind of what I want to start off um, talking about because I got some controversial merch that's for sale.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, and then a whole lot more. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to hit record over for our audio folks.
Alrighty.
There we go. We're rolling. Okay. Cool. This is gonna be a fun one.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into it. 3, 2, 1. So man, we are live on the live stream as we are every week.
Mm-hmm. We
And we
are.
want people to check it out. It's really good stuff. We love the interaction. We love the people chiming in during our discussions to kind of to weigh in and help direct the conversation where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason why we do it, is so that we can have uh, you know, more interaction with our listeners and catch up
Yeah,
with you in a very unique way, right? Um,
exactly. We get that nice organic conversation going on, you know?
That's right. Exactly. And so we really want you guys to jump up over there. It's facebook.com/the Catchup Cast. It's also linked in the description of this episode that you're listening to. But another cool thing you get to see is this good, clean merch that we rock every
Hmm.
time we go live. Just about.
Exactly. Which just about my bad. I need to grab mine, but
Yeah, no, I just had to throw that in there real quick, man. In here every time we go live. We're wearing it. But I got my
Mhm.
let's go ahead and get into it t-shirt on. I gotta tell you, man, I'm not saying this to sell t-shirts. This is my favorite t-shirt I own. I'm not kidding. I need to, and I'm saying this to kind of help validate what I'm saying. I need to go through all of my merch and make sure that all the t-shirts are this type because it is so comfortable and it fits so well. And it
It
looks
does.
so good. Man, yeah,
And it
me
does really well in the wash too. Like I
no.
gotta say.
It does. It really does. Actually, I said this day, I feel like it looks better every time I wash it. It looks cool. So I say all this to say, if you want to support the show, please check out our website, nosignal.com, or I'm sorry, nosignalrocks.com slash
Hmm.
the hyphen ketchup hyphen podcast, or just look at the link, the support the show tab if you're listening, or if you're on our Facebook live stream, just look at the link down below.
Yep.
But the reason
Exactly.
I bring
And
all
if
this
you're
up,
on YouTube, sorry, it'll also be in the link down below. Just want you guys
everybody,
to, everybody. Yeah, you can't forget about the YouTube.
I love our YouTube folks, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that weird glow that went behind me there? Did
I
you see that?
didn't. I didn't. You got ghosts, man?
I might have ghosts. That was definitely caught on the live stream. If you're watching right now, I want you to leave a comment if you saw that because I saw that in the camera. I was like, where did that come from? There's nothing moving around in there. All right, well that's terrifying. Anyway, way too early in the year for ghosts. But yeah, so hopefully we can make it through this whole podcast without me getting dragged like the haunting, like help.
Yeah,
Help.
exactly. Hey, you know what though? It could be something more, fun, right? You could get abducted. That's fun. And there's lights involved with that.
Aliens. That would be
Nope.
cool.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. See?
I was hoping you're going with Casper, but I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't want
hey,
you
Casper the
abducted by
Friendly
aliens.
Ghost, that'd be kind of fun.
But it did look like War of the Worlds where they like scan the room before they come in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So
So if we
anyway,
hear a big knock, then we know what's going on.
my doors are always open. So you're not gonna have to knock too hard. Um
Okay.
but anyway, so yeah, the reason I bring this up is because it's kind of a funny story. But I'm starting to think about it more and more. I might pull it, man. We'll see. But so we had Aaron on the podcast last week. I meant to bring this up when he was on.
Mm,
Um, but he and I were joking a few years back when we still worked on the morning newscast together.
mhm,
There was this movement that was called Save Century 2, and Century 2 is this iconic building of the Wichita skyline. It's been around for closing in on 60 years now. It's a performing arts center. It's a
mhm,
big thing. A lot of events hosted there, a lot of car shows hosted there, a lot of big deals. And so there was talk that was going to get torn down as they redo this whole riverfront district here in Wichita. And it has been really nice what they've upgraded, what they've added to it. But there was talk of tearing it down. So this group started a thing called Save Century 2. And so far they've been successful in it.
mhm.
Um, I think they're a little misled now. That's just my opinion. This is the city has decided to give it to private management, but the city still owns the building. In the
Interesting.
Yeah, so they still own the building, but as far as managing it to make it profitable, it won't be on the city
Mhm.
anymore. I actually think that's a smart move, but they're like, no, it shouldn't be given to some outsider and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, the city still owns it at the end of the day. So um, it's been this long, I want to say 3 years worth of discussion, maybe four. And when it was starting, I said,
Mhm.
there's a lot of support and a lot of noise for this Save Century 2 thing, but there's nothing, we can't give equal opportunity. 'Cause it was like an election year, is why I was saying
Mhm.
this. we don't have equal opportunity for the people who don't give a crap about Century 2, right?
Yeah.
And so Aaron came up with the idea of Burn Century 2,
Oh no.
a voice for the opposition, a voice for the voiceless, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I just thought about it a couple weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
and had it designed. And I have a T-shirt available on our website, not the podcast website, but the homepage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's tied to my band that says Burn Century 2, and it has the logo on it.
Hey, it's
Or it
limited.
has,
You should do a limited run, man.
I know. I feel like I should, because before people start trying to burn me. Um, and so yeah, it's an interesting reaction I've gotten because I have promoted it to try and find an audience. And I've sold a couple
Mhm.
shirts. I've sold a couple shirts, which is
Okay.
pretty cool. Because I want to say that a lot of people understand it's a joke, but there's a lot of other people that are very upset that this is a thing. The first comment I got was, "Why would we burn Century 2? Where are we, Detroit?"
Wow.
I know. Um, and I've had others. One person I got kind of a kick out of. Um, but it was, here's a look at the shirt if you're on the live stream. Uh, Pretty simple, pretty affordable
Yeah,
too, and
exactly. Pretty
definitely
nice.
comfy. Yeah, definitely comfy.
Mhm. Very,
So
very competent.
I know. In fact, I'm gonna drop this link in the live stream so
Hey,
people can.
and check it out for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to check out the Burn Century 2 T-shirt, I
Mhm.
just loaded that in the description. Um, so yeah. Anyway, people have not really been kind in their reaction to this. I'm
Mm.
not gonna lie. There was one woman that said, "What an ignorant organization No Signal is," and I said, I put an asterisk for like a correction. And I said,
Mhm.
"Ignorant rock band," and then I linked our Spotify account.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's mostly been the older generation that has not taken very kindly to this, and I kind of feel bad that they don't know it's a joke. Maybe it's my
Mhm.
delivery on all of it. Um, I literally in the post said I'm giving a voice to the voiceless. But but yeah, so this has been quite a thing for me. It's been interesting to have random people buy our stuff, but yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I don't know if the backlash I've had uh discussion about how this could impact my live shows even, you know?
Hey, it'll be interesting if you see somebody with it on when you show up to your next live gig, man.
I know. To tell the truth, I thought it would have a I knew there'd be a negative reaction to it to an extent, but I thought, man, you could get some notoriety for selling something like this. But really all I want, and this is all I envision when I buy or design shirts of my
Mm.
own, is picturing a rock band during an interview when they're wearing a t-shirt that has a logo on it that people are like, what is that about? Right?
Mhm.
That's like my standard for t-shirt buying. I literally bought a t-shirt the other day that says Nakatomi Corporation on it.
Mhm.
That is the corporation of the that owned the building that Bruce Willis was in on Die Hard.
Oh wow.
Nakatomi Plaza. So so yeah, I that's really where I was coming from with this. How sick this would be to wear on stage.
Mhm.
But anyway, I don't know, man. What do you think? Is the risk worth the gain? I'm thinking about pulling it, man.
Hey man, I say run a nice little limited run, do it for a few weeks, and then you can pull it.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.
Because you know what they say, uh, any publicity is good publicity. I think that's right.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nowadays it is, yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe have a few dozen printed and sell them at shows.
There you go.
I know, I'm kidding. I
You
think
know,
that'd
when
be
they're gone, man.
they're gone. Yeah, limited run. So get yours while you still can.
Mhm.
We got all sorts of sizes. I'll go through here. I'm definitely making a sales. I'll cut out most of this for the audio. Um, but yeah, we got this nice clean maroon, a blue,
Mm-hmm.
a navy, or I'm sorry, army color. Got these
Mm-hmm.
red, green, blue. It's
You
beautiful,
got a
man.
gray man?
Um, yeah, right
Don't look
here.
like you.
There it is.
Oh, oh, there we go. There we go. I was gonna say, I was like, don't look like you got a good clean gray, man. You gotta get a
No, I
good
have
clean
to,
gray.
man. Most of my wardrobe is gray. I even got this if you want it. Yep.
Hey, man. All power to pink. You know what I'm saying? All
Yeah.
power to the pink.
I'm not sure why it's labeled under Devon's name on our website, but hey, that's less pressure on me, I guess. um, but yeah. So anyway, that's what that looks like. Um, it's been interesting. The reaction. I've never done anything like this, so it's been kind of a fun thing to try and test out and see what
hmm
the reaction's been. And I have gotten more follows on our band page because of it.
Hey, that's
But
good.
more follows than sales, to be quite honest. But I think it'll result in something good. So anyway, um, yeah, we got some things we want to talk about this week. They're a little
hmm
more serious than that. I just thought that was kind of funny. Um, Kansas is going through a transition right now where there is currently no mask order, but there will be in about a week, and then there won't be again. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's there's a lot of layers to it, and so we're joining
hmm
Missouri, we're joining Oklahoma, and we're obviously joining Texas. And it's a
Welcome.
right, yeah. Welcome.
Welcome to the fold.
Yeah, no. Welcome to the wild, wild west, man. It's interesting, and I'm glad that I'm at least half vaxxed right now. Um, so I'm thankful for that. But there's a
Same.
lot that we yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
Oh, I said same. You know, half
Ooh,
X.
you finally got your first dose, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm on the half vax train.
Ooh, okay. That's good. That's good. We're both gonna be completely vaxxed by the time our good friend Sierra's wedding happens, and we'll both be
Yeah,
there for
man.
that.
It'll be
It's
good
exciting.
stuff.
I know. Which I mentioned that on the live stream because that will be our next in-person catch up, which I'm very excited for.
I am too.
Yeah. So you want to stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. But yeah, we want to talk about that. And then uh superconductors, right? Semi.
Mm-hmm. Semiconductors, yes, sir.
There's a shortage on those. It impacts just about every electronic you could imagine, including your phone,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
including your laptop.
Including, yeah, including your car.
Yeah. Yeah. So wherever you're listening to this podcast on, uh, this probably impacts it.
Mm-hmm.
so, so it's a good discussion that you want to stay tuned for because it could impact the future of technology in a
Mm.
very negative way. A very negative way. So we want to talk
Or
about
very
all that.
positive, either way.
Well, hey, who knows? I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good reason for us to discuss it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Man, I got some Peter Parker action going.
Uh-oh.
Spider-Man 3 Peter Parker
Yeah, that's
action.
what I was gonna say. Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
You got the
Yeah,
you
man.
got the black suit on.
Man, I've been in a goofy mood all day. I apologize to our viewers. If you're just jumping on, man, I do want to show this one more time before we get into the discussion because I'm not going to mention it after this.
Mm,
But this Burn Century 2 t-shirt, that's what Dennis and I were talking about when most of you jumped on. It's just a
exactly.
play on the effort to save Century 2. Um, and it's been interesting the discussion that we've had so far about it. Whoa, almost died.
Nope. You
Um,
all right?
yeah, man, it's been
Almost lost
rocky.
you.
I know it's been a rocky one in here so far. I got you a whole bunch of face action so far. Um, but yeah, so this is I'll show you guys right here. There we go. Burn Century 2. Iconic building here in Wichita. Has been a lot of effort to try and save it. And by all means, I want it saved. I want it to stick around. I want it to be used for many, many decades to come. I love
hmm
all performing arts centers, and I have nothing against Century 2. And I think that's what makes me laugh about the fact that people are getting upset about it, because I'm like, in what way would this be a viable option for anything? For anything. I don't care what it is. You're not gonna light something on fire and let it roast. So, man, it kind of cracked me up. Um, but anyway, so this is all in good fun. It's counterculture, anti-authoritarian, rock and roll, whatever you want to call it. And
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of different colors, so that's all linked in the description of this episode. Um, and so I just wanted to mention that real quick.
Mm.
Um, okay, so let's go ahead and get into our episode. Let's do our intro. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? I'm John,
And I'm Denison.
and this is the Catchup. Like, like how we have this. Yeah,
Yeah, man, you got to
yeah,
get up close and personal.
I know. Um, so which I have been. All right, so how we want to do this? I'm gonna give you guys some.
Doing a serenade.
Sounds good, huh?
Mhm.
That's terrible. All right, let's see here. I'm all over the place. It's whatever.
You ready?
Yeah, man. It's the weather is really what it is. It's the weather. It's the society coming back to normal. It's not having to worry about the vid as much.
Mhm.
It's just good vibes. And we can talk
You
about
got
that.
those clear skies, man.
I do, man. I do.
That's good.
Is that a reference to our song with Devon?
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Well played. Okay. Let's give these people who are watching some content here. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, before we jump into it, the usual things, we already plugged the website plenty. But we are
Mhm.
live streaming on Facebook right now, and where you can get involved in the discussion in real time and react and guide the conversation and have a real
Mhm.
time conversation with us and catch up with us. And that is the point of this show, right? So we'd love for you to have the opportunity to do that. So like our Facebook page, you'll be notified or what is it? Just follow now? There's a weird thing Facebook's doing.
I think you still like it, because when you like it, you get followed or you follow the page, but you can unfollow the page if you don't want to get notifications.
Well,
Strange, but I think it's still maybe I don't know. They
on my
change stuff
band
around a
page,
bunch.
I had people that liked the band page but unfollowed it, and so then when the switch happened, all those people that only liked it were gone. They don't follow my page anymore. Um,
Really?
yeah, yeah,
That sounds silly.
it is very silly. You're very correct. So, I don't really know
But
what to make of that, but
yeah,
yeah, whatever you need to do, smash some big blue button on Facebook. Um,
exactly.
give us a
Check
follow
out
on
the
it.
page.
Yeah, give us a follow on Instagram. You'll be notified anytime there's a new episode going live. And then check out our YouTube
Oh,
page. We're giving all this
exactly.
video content over there. What were you gonna say, man?
Well, no, I was just gonna say. So Christina said that Facebook's getting rid of likes
Yeah, yeah.
on pages. So
They're just trying to be like
there you
Twitter
go.
more and more. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know. Give us a follow, I guess.
So
Follow.
eventually follow. I don't know if it's fully done, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Easy way to say it. Follow us on all platforms. Subscribe over on YouTube. We have our live
Mm-hmm.
streams, videos, and other exclusive video content posted up over there.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Exactly.
give them
Posted
an
every
update.
week.
Every week, and give them an update, man.
The
Where's
the
our
the video.
Turo car challenge? Where's that stand, man?
So I'm actually gonna go ahead and break it up into multiple episodes
I
because
like
all the content together is looking at about 2 hours worth of footage. So
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna divide it up into a few episodes.
I think we should make a whole
So
series out of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we can. So
That'd be
yeah, I'm
cool.
gonna divide it into smaller episodes, bite-sized pieces, so that way it'll be easier for you guys to follow along with. It'll also give you an opportunity to check out something weekly that'll an extra thing weekly um, that'll pop up on our page. So it'll be fun. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
man. Aaron, I couldn't agree more. Damn, 2 hours. I
I know. I know. I know.
it didn't even feel
It's a
like we
movie.
well, it didn't even feel like we filmed that much to begin with, much less have that left over after we cut stuff out. I don't I don't even know how that's possible, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
this is Catchup Podcast, the movie coming soon.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but no, that'll be fun. I'm very excited for that one to share it with people and all that. Um, so another reason to follow us on the YouTube page, and then yeah, the website and our email, the
hmm
ketchupcast@gmail.com. Get in touch with us if you want to get on this show, featured in some way, whether through a topic suggestion, something you'd like to hear discussed, or maybe you have a story you'd like to share. We would love to have you on there.
hmm
So check all of that out. But let's go ahead and jump into our discussion, man. First of all, let's do a good, clean, classic catch-up podcast catch-up, man. What's been going on with you?
Hey, man. A lot's been going on, man. I transitioned into a new job, which I'm very blessed to be a part of. It's a amazing place.
That's awesome.
It's yeah, it's really really cool. So I really do enjoy my new job, but the problem is that with every new job you have a learning curve, and for me it's kind of unlearning a few things that I'm so used to.
Mhm.
Um, Especially since this new job, so in my previous job, right? My previous job, I felt like I kind of wore like six hats in some
Oh,
ways, just
sure.
because my scope was really, really big. And now I'm starting to get more focused and generalized. Or not generalized, but more focused in a specific dealing with Microsoft 0365 and all of the Microsoft products and suite and stuff like that at my new job. And uh, it's just a change because, when you're used to wearing like five or six hats, you're going between, you can do more, I guess, in some ways, or you're used to being able to go above and beyond or whatever like that, because that's just what you
Yeah.
had to do. So it wasn't really above and beyond. It's just normal.
Right. It technically
But
was, but it became so commonplace that it was just expected in your job, right?
exactly, exactly. And so now that I'm more focused, um, I'm having to kind of get back and I'm having to get into that mindset of like, okay, well, this is where I go. This is the level that I go to. And then after that, uh, there's someone else who will take it over from there. I don't have to take on the whole burden myself, right?
Sure.
And
Sure.
so that's a adjustment for me. And then at the same time, it's just a lot of learning, right? It's
Yeah.
learning the environment that I'm going into. In the tech world, uh, you'll find that the way that every company and every place that you go does things differently. I mean, it's the same, I guess, everywhere, right? Different policies and procedures, but tech wise, it's kind of like how their infrastructure is set up is different, even though there
Mm.
are technically standards how things should be, but uh, every company and every place does differently. So I'm getting to learn that, getting to learn how everything works, how everything's connected. And then at the same time, learning a lot more about Microsoft, because I'm actually having a chance to be able to be specialized. And that's actually the word, that I've been trying
Really?
to
Yeah.
focus on. But anyway,
You've always been
yeah, so I'm
specialized in
getting
you,
an
man.
opportunity to really jump into that. And it's really exciting, to be honest.
Yeah.
It really is.
So do you want to tell them what you're doing and where?
Yeah, yeah, no. So I am working at UT Dallas. Or I should really, yeah, the University of Texas at Dallas. There we
Right.
go.
Yeah.
There's the full deal.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, and like I said before, I've been blessed with the opportunity to be there. I'm working with an amazing team who is incredibly supportive and incredibly smart. Like everybody there is just top notch. So I am I'm really thrilled to be working for UT Dallas, and it was a sad goodbye to the Container Store. Um, I worked there for 5 years, and loved every bit of it. To be honest,
Well, and
you
you
know,
worked there for 5 years in a lot of different capacities too. I mean, yeah, you
yeah,
ended up in
that's true.
IT, but you did a lot more than that. I mean, you were like the what people think of when they think of Container Store. You were that for a while, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Customer
No, I
face.
was. Yeah, exactly. That's true. I forgot, which is weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was. In some ways the face of the Container Store because I was on a lot of their recruiting material, which was cool.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Uh, I came from the stores, which was awesome. I was blessed with the opportunity to go from the stores to the corporate office and work IT there, and just kind of advance my career. So I'm incredibly um, amazed and like I said, blessed to have the opportunities that I've been afforded. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
and so, I'm taking on, I guess, the amazing stuff that I learned from the Container Store and moving it over to UT Dallas.
So let me ask you,
Mm,
it's awesome that you have a great team around you and you feel really good about where that's all going.
mm-hmm,
Um, and the work that you're able to do seems more focused.
mm,
The scope of your work, I guess you could say.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. So what is that like for you? Because I find myself, without giving too many details, to be in a very similar position
mm-hmm,
of kind of a jack of all trades. I would
mm-hmm,
say, at least to some extent, I know how to do every single job in that building, and that's not a bad thing. But
mm-hmm.
uh, it's not the best when the reasoning behind it is because you're always having to do other people's jobs, right?
True.
So that's really what I'm kind of getting at there. So what's that like for you? Is it almost like a breaking the habit thing? Because I feel like for both of us, we're both kind of perfectionists in a way, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which is why this works. Well, that and the fact that we think the same way in just about everything. Um, but um, is that kind of a hard habit to break? Because I think one of my things this is getting very introspective, but I know I have a fixer mentality,
mm-hmm.
where I feel like I need to fix things that truly aren't my responsibility to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you have that. Not to place that on you. I'm just saying this based off our previous conversations. I think you have it to a certain extent. Do you find that like a hard habit to break when it comes to your job because of that?
Um, yeah, yeah, no, very much so. Because especially when, like I said before, you're used to a certain access. So, um, there have been times where I've looked at some of the stuff that's come in, even though I don't know the environment that much. I at least know I can take these steps to get to this solution, right?
Yeah,
But since I saw it from a jack of all trades perspective, which was more of a higher, not higher, but like seeing every part where everything goes. Um,
sure.
at my previous job, and yeah, so it's hard to break that because it's you really do want to go that one step further, like I can do this, I can do this. But what I'm
Uh,
trying to do and what I'm trying to do is move that energy to my new position, right?
yeah,
And just focus everything in to um what I'm focusing on. So I
Yeah.
think that's the big thing. It's changing your mind from, well, I can just do all of this myself instead of doing it. Let me rely on my team and let me focus in on the stuff that I know, or the stuff that I want to learn, or the stuff that I want to get better at, right?
Mm,
That I want to
yeah.
specialize at. So I think that's kind of what you
Totally.
need to try to do if you're really wrestling for that, is change your mindset of relying on others and focusing in, using all that other energy to focus in on where you want to be.
I agree. And the other thing is when you are focusing all that energy into things that don't really get you anywhere in the long run, such as doing everybody's job, right? Dabbling
Mhm.
in that. I'm saying this a bit from experience, not to light anybody up, but sometimes that's just how jobs are. But it can lead to burnout. I've suffered from it. You were
I
actually the
have
one
as
that
well.
told me that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah, you have. But you were actually the one that I never experienced burnout until probably late last year. And
Mhm.
it's very much due to the pandemic. I will say that because um, typical news cycle in Kansas, you get a reprieve, every now and then. There's not always huge days where every day is like a breaking news day, but it has
Mhm.
been for the past year plus. So you were actually the one that kind of showed me, hey, you're suffering from burnout. But then I've seen other people do it too. I have other people that are very close to me that I work with that try to do everybody's job for them. And they get frustrated when things don't go the way they're supposed to. And I think the lesson from that to me is it's kind of a life lesson and a reminder that you can only control what you can control, right? Um,
Mhm.
and what you can control is yourself, your success, your growth. Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you can be passionate about a job, a career. I know you are about yours. Um, and even through the burnout, I've been very passionate about keeping people informed, right?
Mhm.
Um, and you can work through that, but uh at the end of the day, you have to remember you're doing this. My motto is work to live, I don't live to work, right?
Yep. Exactly.
So yeah, and so that's kind of the thing I try to remember. So that is good that you're able to focus in on yours. I'll give you an example. I have to double check video that editors edit. I don't have to do this, but I check the reporters' packages before they send them. I have to guide
Mhm.
the reporters on a daily basis for their stories. Um, very involved in the reporter stuff. I have to write all the scripts and um, do all the graphics, stack the show, order the show, decide who reads what. Now that
Yeah.
stuff things is what my job is actually, you know.
Mhm.
But there's all this other stuff that always comes up that and it can happen like that, like a real quick pace. And then before you know it, you're like, wow, I just did three other people's jobs for them.
Yep. Exactly.
So um I think it's important to get yourself in a position where you feel like uh you're not doing that, where you are focused on what you're doing and you're making
Mhm.
a difference because of that. That's the other thing is that you are focusing that energy on being the best you can be for your own future, right? So
Exactly.
I feel like you've done that even through going through that with the Container Store because that is why you're at where you're at now, man, and that's a really exciting place to be.
Yeah. 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 No, I think one thing that kind of helped me, because I went through the burnout probably around the same time you did, which I feel like, to be honest, around that time, a lot of people went through that.
Mhm.
Because if you were fortunate enough to still have a job during like the big brunt of layoffs and furloughs and stuff, you ended up kind of taking on a lot of other people's jobs. And if you were already in a job that had a lot of hats, you took on even more hats
Yeah.
to try to help everything out. But uh, like what got me through that was I had a I had amazing coworkers that were still, that were still with me, and they helped me and supported me through the whole thing. And then also, of course, this podcast, right? I feel
Yeah,
like just doing this was a therapeutic in some ways. So,
I know. I'm thankful for it too, man. I love you
mhm.
too, man. I really
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
man.
But no,
Yeah,
I mean
man.
seriously,
Doing this with
it's
you every week, it's a big deal.
yeah, I agree, man. I agree. And you said at the beginning of last year I want to do this every week. I don't want to take all gas, no breaks. Um take no days, no weeks off, right?
Hmm.
Um I know it made me emotional too, Christina. um, but yeah, I mean, and there's several reasons why, but I mean, I feel the same way. It's not just doing this podcast, but it's doing it with you, man. So, um, I totally agree with that. But I want to say, yeah, I mean, it is interesting with the thing about burnout is it creeps up on you. I think it's kind of, I would almost classify as like a mental health condition.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because it can creep up on you without notice, like just about anything. I would say I'm still dealing with it too, and that's not a reflection on the place I work. It's not anything negative. It's just the nature of where the world's at right now with COVID and the back and forth and these terrible things that are happening. There's a lot of good, and we talk about a lot of good. Um,
exactly.
we do. We talk about a lot of good in the local news. I was having a conversation with somebody about this the other day, um, but unfortunately, what most people pay attention to is the negative, and then they say, "Well, you just do negative news all the time," you know, and we really don't. But anyway, I get off my soapbox before I stand on there too long. But yeah, man. Other than that, I mean, and you got half vaccinated, right? How was that process?
Yeah, no. I got half vaccinated. It was fine. I went in, I did have like a small little crisis for a moment,
What?
because well, it's because the way that they did it, right? They sent you an email that had the barcode. Um, and they're like, well, if you don't have that barcode, you can't get your vaccine or whatever like that.
Oh my gosh!
Um, and it's not, they can't create another one or whatever.
Really?
And so what was funny, right, is I had it pulled up on my phone. I followed the instructions that were in the email when I pulled up or whatever like that, because they had
Yeah.
stuff like, only come in when it's your appointment time, all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so I had it on my phone. I was like, cool, I'm ready to go. I got this going. And then I got out of my car, went up to the front, and they're like, hey, how's it going? You got your email ready? I was like, yep, I do. And then I looked at my phone, and then nope, I don't.
Oh no!
And then it somehow ended up
So
in
this
my
was a drive-through
deleted.
clinic, though.
No, it was uh well, I know our listeners probably won't remember know this, but
Yeah.
Stonebriar Mall, they had it's a big mall in Texas, in the Frisco, Plano area, something like that.
Yeah. Right.
Um they sectioned off, I guess, where a store used to be, and turned that into
Okay.
a vaccination site.
That's pretty
Um
cool.
yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, I
This is an old abandoned
parked there
store.
and went out. Yeah, whole store.
That's
Well,
awesome.
half of the store, I guess.
Yeah.
But
That's really cool.
yeah. Yeah,
I
no,
like
it
that idea.
was it was amazing.
It's been interesting to
It's
see how places have used what's available to them. We used Interest Bank Arena until
mm,
hockey started back up, and then they were in the way of Interest Bank Arena. Now they're using this old abandoned downtown library for
hmm,
vaccinations, which is really cool.
that is
Um,
interesting.
yeah, which they are in the process of revitalizing this library for something new too, which is so it's a lot going on there. Um, so anyway, it's really cool, but that's wild, man. So
Yeah.
that had to be a little disheartening, huh?
Oh yeah, no, it was kind of crazy, but they were very nice and understood. They're like, it's fine, as long as you got your name and your ID or whatever like that. They sent me in. They essentially wrote down my barcode on my shirt.
Oh,
Um and then I just went from there.
feels a
Or
little
not on my shirt, but they gave me like a little sticker to put on my shirt.
yeah. Yeah, I was like, that feels a little
Um,
tyrannical.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, but it worked out really well. Like I said, I got through. The shot was real fast. I did have to stay longer than like I guess most people
why?
because I have an allergy to fish, right? And
Right.
yes, the vaccine does not have fish contained or over like that. But apparently, I guess for anybody who has to carry a what is it, EpiPen, they want to keep them for longer because I guess they're more prone to having anaphylactic shock or whatever like that, where their throat closes up and stuff. Um, and so since I kind of fall into that category, they're like, well, we're going to keep you a little bit longer. So
Wait, do you have an EpiPen?
yeah, yeah, I've
I
got, okay, I got one. At least.
I never
Yeah.
knew that. This is like Catch
Really?
Podcast exclusive right here.
Well, I mean,
Wha-
I guess it's because I never really show it off.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, no, I never knew that.
mm,
That's interesting. But it makes sense. I've heard a lot of that discussion as well. You gotta keep people. They asked me if I was allergic to anything. I said, well, I have seasonal allergies, and then I had a weird reaction to penicillin when I was a kid. Um,
mhm.
but you know what? You know what sucks about that? The only way you can find out you're allergic to that stuff is by having reactions to it.
Yep.
You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, you
So
just
they
have
didn't
to
make me.
just deal with it.
Yeah, I go. I say, I don't know if you need to know that. He's like, well, we don't either, so it's good to know. And I was like, oh, cool. That's terrifying. But but yeah, man, no, that is kind of weird, and I think that was probably the most uncomfortable part of it for me was when I was just waiting there to see if I was just gonna drop dead out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Um, there actually was a woman in Kansas this past week who died after getting the vaccine. She went into anaphylactic shock,
Oh,
and they took
no.
her to the hospital, and she died at the hospital. And her cause of death is the COVID vaccine. That's what it was labeled as in the
Mm,
obituary, not by the coroner. So now the
okay.
CDC is investigating it. It's actually becoming kind of a national thing.
Hmm,
So it's kind of
interesting.
wild. Yeah. But Aaron chiming in here on the live stream. What's up, buddy? Been a whole week since I've seen you.
Exactly.
It's been 1 week since we talked with you. Um, and he says my store was supposed to get the shot like 4 weeks ago and hasn't gotten it to give to people. And I remember that. I remember Walmart sending out a press release, or sorry, well, really all pharmacies a couple weeks ago saying that they were going to get it and give it out to people. And there's something Walgreens said just today where they were going to start taking appointments for phase 3 and 4 next week.
Mm,
Uh, so yeah, but here's the thing. Now the state's in phase 5. Now these companies are vaccinating phase 3 and 4. Phase 5 is free for all for everyone.
mhm.
It's the Wild West up here, man. Um, I want to get into that with the masks too, but it is wild because we had this whole plan where we thought maybe by the beginning of May we're gonna make vaccines available to everyone. No, they're just available to everybody now. Anyone can go and get a vaccine up here,
Mhm,
um, which is great. Don't get me wrong; that in and of itself is fantastic. But the reason that that's available is a real problem. It's a real problem. The real problem is, despite dang near everyone having the availability to get the vaccine, only 26% of Kansans have gotten one shot. Only 26%.
man.
And I asked the governor's office today, I did this, I took it upon myself because I was so curious.
Mhm,
Who is included in phase 5 that wasn't included in the other phases, right? Because the other phases are pretty broad. They have critical workers, they have people with severe or mild risk. Obesity is labeled as mild risk. Asthma is
mhm,
labeled as mild risk.
mhm.
I I'm pretty sure turf toe is labeled as mild risk. I mean, just anything, man. And
Mhm,
so I was curious how many people were not included in those, that now can get the shot. They got back to me and they said 400,000 people. That is
wow.
13. That's 13.8% of the Kansas population. So if all of them got the vaccine, granted, this is all people 16 and over. Don't get me wrong. It's all
Mm-hmm.
people 16 and over. Regardless, if all of them got the vaccine, every single one of them, it'd still be less than half of Kansas that's been vaccinated.
Ugh,
And that's the problem, is there's a
that
real
is a
culture up
problem.
here that they never took it seriously in the first place, so they're not taking the vaccine seriously either.
Hmm.
And it's fine to not take the virus seriously, but you're always going to have to consider it if you don't get vaccinated.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. And it still goes back to like what we were talking about earlier in the pandemic. It's um you have to look out for everyone else because it's not just you that this can affect.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason why they're even telling vaccinated people to still do the same process, still have your mask, still do all this other stuff, because you may be a carrier even though you may not have any symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's I it's I understand it's really hard, right? For everyone to get to like understand that, but it's very important, right? It's
Yeah, it
very,
is.
very important.
Well, and
And
that's
I like to attribute it to this wonderful saying, but I also don't want to offend people. But here we go. Let me just
don't be stupid, stupid.
there we go. You know, just think about others. Because
Yeah,
that's how we get through this.
exactly. Well, really, it's don't be selfish either.
Mhm.
I have friends that took this very seriously during the beginning. Now they're like, man, I'm not getting that stupid vaccine. COVID's stupid anyway. It is stupid, but that doesn't mean it's not real. It doesn't mean,
Mhm.
and this is, I don't know if I should get into this, but this is really kind of a cultural issue that I feel like we have nationwide. Something
Mm.
X is stupid. So therefore, by me calling it stupid, it's not a thing. No matter what
Yeah,
that is,
it
no
becomes
matter what,
invalid somehow.
yeah, racial injustice, for example, I'm hitting y'all
Mhm.
heavy right now. You know, the other side of the aisle, if you don't agree with their beliefs, um, and that is kind of a propagated culture that we have right now, and it's a very bad time for it because people should just get the vaccine. I was able to easily cut off the third arm that I grew after getting my shot. So, um, and really, I don't even need to find my iPhone feature anymore because my parents can track me by just calling the federal government thanks to that chip they put in me. You know?
I mean, hey, being glow in the dark really has helped me a bunch. So, I don't know why people are concerned.
Yeah, you gotta keep that nightlight, man. That's a good deal. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
But
I mean, it's
in all
all
seriousness, though,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
important.
So the flip side of that, this kind of pertains to what's been going on in my life too. Um, but this is kind of an odd one to explain, really. So we have a Republican-run legislature in Kansas, but a Democrat governor.
Mm,
Um, these Republicans are mad that the governor is issuing these executive orders, like there was a stay-at-home order during the pandemic when it began,
mhm.
uh, mask order, all that kind of stuff, and so they were crafting a bill that would nullify. Um, God, this is so confusing. It would null. It would null. It really is wild. So it would nullify all county health orders across the state. So any county that had a mask order in place no longer would.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and recently, they have also given themselves the power to override any executive order that the governor gives. Okay,
That
so she
sounds like
currently
it's
has,
breaking the checks and balances.
yeah, no, it's a real problem. It's a real problem, and I imagine when they get a Republican governor in office, they will give that power right back. That's the craziness
Mm,
about it. I think
probably.
you could, yeah, easily have a challenge on this whole thing in court. But anyway, she so um, she has an executive order for a statewide mask mandate that counties opt into if they decide not to have their own order. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so to back up, this Senate bill that was going to her desk, she was going to sign it because it was the best option she would get. For anything related, it came with a whole bunch of other stuff that was for the pandemic and all that. So they pork barreled it to give her notes.
Mm-hmm.
And it undid this mask, or ahead of that, counties started undoing their own mask mandates. So Sedgwick County, where I live, dropped their mask mandate. But they, I feel like, weren't even clear on what happens after that. So now they're following the state's mask mandate. Meanwhile, the city is discussing having its own mask mandate since the county doesn't have anything. Yeah, but then the state's mask mandate, that executive order expires the end of the month. And the governor has already said she plans to reissue that executive order with several others, extending a mask mandate for the state. But like I said, the legislature now has the power to override any executive order she gives. So as soon as she reissues that executive order, they can undo it by voting against it. So anything from here on out, health, unless there's a challenge in court, anything from here on out is just political posturing. That's what's really crazy about it. It's all
that's
the
insane.
Yeah. So at least I guess there is still a mask order technically, and businesses. This puts, like we talked about with Texas, it puts businesses in a tough position.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's like, is there a mask mandate? Is there not? It's really odd. But one thing that's leading to is live music, and you're talking about focusing all your energy. That's where my focus has been going. I have some really cool things. So let's check this out here. All right, here we go. You should be able to hear this on the audio version too. So I have this cool thing.
Okay.
Something that's trash. So that's so anyway, it sounds delicious because it is a Line 6 Helix is what it's called. It is probably this and another company called Kemper makes something like it, but it basically simulates amps and does it very well. I didn't want to like this. I didn't want to like it at all. In fact, let me see here. Whoa, look how beautiful.
Whoa, that looks interesting. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild. It's huge. First of all, it has all these cool. It looks like something straight out of Apollo 11. It's really wild. But so many things to choose from. You can have hundreds of presets. Other people can upload their presets and you download them. So any professional guitarist can do that, and you can download their sound and use their sounds. It's so cool. I know. And then it's this particular. So the Kemper, I would say, is more for like touring rock musicians, because, not to get very nerdy on it, but it is it actually profiles amps. So you would hook it up to an amp, it sends all these frequencies and all that stuff, and it has it mic'd going in back into the Kemper, and the Kemper receives what those signals sound like and is able to recreate that amp, that specific amp, based off of those frequencies that's sent through there. This is digital modeling, so it uses algorithms to replicate a sound, but the abilities of effects and all that are much greater, and because of that, there's a website where you can actually download worship tones for just about every worship song, every worship album, every worship band. It's perfect
Mhm.
for praise and worship. And so this is actually, it actually belongs to my church. Um, they got it for us, which is awesome because I in no way could afford that. And there's been a lot of discussion about our sound, our tone, or this and that. And I'm like, man, I'm not gonna redo my entire sound for church. I mean, I mean, what I had
Mhm.
worked, what I had worked, um, what I still have, I should say, it works, and I wasn't gonna spend all that money on it. So we got this. It sounds incredible. That was just one patch that was called Clean Ambient. So I'm really excited about that. It just sounds beautiful. It's really cool. Uh, and I plan to, while I still have it in my possession, don't have to leave it at the church. I plan to download several more patches. I'm gonna have to buy them, but I'll be willing to spend my own money on it just so I can do some crazy stuff at church. Um, some really cool stuff. So anyway, I got that. My good friend,
Nice.
Blake Loggins. Well, I should say I didn't get that. Like I said, the church paid for it. I'm saving up for some big things to come, which I will talk about in the coming weeks. Um, but the our good friend Blake Loggins and Jeremy Spring, two of my bandmates in the band in Kansas, and Back Pocket Driver, um, are out in Nashville right now with our other good friend Brandon Ellis.
Mm.
Uh, but they, except for Brandon, are there recording a new EP
Mhm.
for Jeremy's band Crusoe and Loggins and Jeremy's band, The Glass Age. It's a great band. Um, so to clarify, Jeremy is in three bands. He's in his own project, Crusoe. He's in this band, Glass Age, and then he's in a band in Kansas with me. um, Blake does Back Pocket Driver with me. He does a band in Kansas. He does Glass Age, and he does this band called My Own Funeral, which is just this insane metal band. Um, now, believe it or not, our other friend, this is like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, Daniel Garrett. Daniel Garrett,
Mhm.
he also plays bass in that band, which is kind of wild. But it's been good for me because that, even though it's, you know, got screaming and all that kind of stuff, the bass lines that he does is actually more similar to what I would want in my band. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, this is the hookup that I have with Loggins right now. He's doing good things with his business. We talked about that several episodes ago. That was the beginning of what is going on now, which I'll have to have him back on to talk about at some point. But he is doing so well with that. He was in Nashville, saw this Fender Supersonic, I think it's 2x12 cabinet, 60-watt head. Anyway, I'm nerding out again.
Mhm.
But it's super nice, and it's one of my favorite amps of all time. And he bought it, and the intention of him having bought it is for me to play it live at all of our shows, man.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I know. I'm so stoked for it. So there's been that. There's been just the fact that we have shows coming up in general. But then my booking agent hit me up the other day.
Mhm.
And anybody listening in Wichita, here's a plug. I'm going to be at Medi's East location on Greenwich in Wichita every Saturday, starting April 24th, every Saturday for 5 months. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I'm going to be like the house act, if you will,
Mhm.
um, which is going to challenge me. I think that's the thing I really want to talk about is that challenge. Um, but that's guaranteed extra income that I very much need. Um, and so even if I don't get any other gigs during the week or the weekend, I have something to fall back on each week. And then
Guaranteed.
if I can't, yeah, well, and then if I can't do that, he said he'd find a fill in for me. So it's very exciting. But that, I guess that's really what I wanted to talk about with that. And that's a huge thing for me. I'm very stoked for it. But just challenging myself in that regard, because if for no one else than the staff, right? If for no one else than the staff, I don't want to show up and play the same thing every single week, right?
Mhm.
I don't want to make the same jokes. I don't even really
No.
like the joke, you know? I really don't.
Yeah, no. I mean, you wanna make sure that you're giving everybody a show. You
Yeah.
know, treat it as though this is a brand, this is a brand new audience every time, and you want to give them the best show that you can. And so, if that's mixing up, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, no, it is, and so I mean, when I say I don't like to joke, obviously that's not true, as we know from this podcast. But what I mean is, when I'm playing live music, I just like to focus on the music. I like to let the music do the talking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're gonna be somewhere week after week, ideally, ideally though,
Ideally,
ideally
though.
though, can't feel. Um, ideally, you would have people that come back fairly often to see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore you would want to give them something a little different each time. um I don't really know. I gotta figure out how to do that. I have one idea is something I actually want to do from the standpoint of a full band, but I think it could be easily done as a solo acoustic, as this will be. And that would be playing entire albums from start to finish, you know doing
That would be
that,
cool.
yeah, like maybe doing that once a month, playing iconic albums from start to finish. And I think that'd be really fun, you know,
Mm-hmm.
coming up with your own
Challenge you to get
rendition.
out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah. One of them, because I don't, this is easily one of the greatest albums of all time, would be the Joshua Tree album by U2.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that'd be a fun one because it's not really an acoustic album at all, except for later in it. And so you'd have to get really creative with how you do some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So yeah, I think that'd be one way to go about it, but it'll be challenging, but it's very much like give me this light at the end of the tunnel kind of a thing. A very exciting thing to look forward to as stuff starts to open back up more and more, God willing.
Mm-hmm. No, it'd be awesome, man. You get to stretch your legs, musically.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of wild about it is that most of our band Kansas gigs, our full band shows, are going to be on Friday nights. Most of my No Signal full band shows are going to be Thursday and Friday nights. So I could end up playing 3 or 4 nights a week, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron, I know. I'm see, those are the people I don't want to show up week after week, are the ones that are going to sit in the back and yell "Freebird" every time. Um, but it's probably bound to happen. I probably should have some weird acoustic rendition of "Freebird" ready to go, just in case people start yelling at me. I
Mm-hmm.
probably should prepare for that. But I mean, just again to nerd out, what I'm excited for on that is the repetition. The reps. It's just like working out. It's like any muscle. I'm never gonna get rusty on guitar. I'm never gonna,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm never gonna get live on, or never gonna get
You
rusty
all
on.
right?
Yeah, I don't know what just happened. I think I need a hard reset. Um, I'm never gonna get rusty on the performance side of things, being live in front of people. I'm never gonna get rusty on singing. So I'm excited for the growth that's going to come with that demand of playing every week. That'll be really cool. So, um, so yeah, man. But anyway, that's what's been going on with me. I say we get into this
Nice.
topic.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Yeah. Let's
we'll
jump into it.
post it up here on the live stream so
Uh-huh.
people can see. Coors Banquet kicking in. That's what Aaron said on the live stream. No, man, that was last week, and I think it was very apparent toward the second half of the episode. Man, I should give me one of those quiz banquets. I'm glad you reminded me of that. But we are already live, so um anyway, we got a semiconductor shortage. You're like,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
You're probably
Yep.
asking.
Exactly.
Your reaction to me saying that is either what or it's what. And either way, I think we deserve to explain it to you and talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. Jensen, dive into this. Semiconductors, what are they? Why is there a shortage?
Yeah. Yeah. No. So semiconductors are what we use to make microchips. It's kind of one of the big integral parts to make your big CPUs and such. And they're just incredibly important. Uh, that's the nice and simple way to put it.
Yeah.
And so, when when I talk about the shortage, well, it's not just that um, we're making fewer. It's not that actually. It's actually the quite opposite. We're actually making more semiconductors than we have been in years. But the big thing is, with the pandemic and everything, it caused us to have to buy more electronics, right? So more laptops, more computers, and stuff like that. And that is what's causing the shortage. It's the big giant uptake in demand, right? That COVID has kind of brought on because people can't leave their houses. So what do? You get on your computer. If you don't have a computer, what do? You get a computer. You either get a computer, you get your iPad, you get a phone, you get something that'll be able to connect to the internet and be able to help you escape your, where you are currently, metaphorically, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
But so that's kind of what's going on right now. It's the fact that there aren't enough semiconductors that are being produced to keep up with the demand.
Okay.
um and you know as I kind of said, this isn't just your PCs, it's not just your laptops, right? It's not just your big desktops computers. It's affecting your smartphones, it's affecting your tablets, it's affecting your um it's also affecting your cars, which sounds
Right.
weird, but actually several manufacturing plants, for different several different automakers. Well, really, it's been a few of the domestic automakers, and I think Tesla is another big one. Had to shut down production to essentially wait for the new batch of semiconductors or chips that they needed, um, to be transported to the factory so they could start building cars, because our cars are now incredibly advanced. They have tons of um, computer. There's it's a computer in itself, um, that's doing all these things, and it's integral to the car. And so when they can't get their chips for the vehicle, they just can't make them. And so,
Mm.
um, if any of you guys are out trying to look for a car, and you want a new one, it's new stuff. But if you want a new one, and you might have a hard time finding the one that you want, because they're not able to get as many shipments in as they used to.
Yeah. So, how widespread or perhaps long lasting do you think that this issue will be? I mean, obviously, there's no real way to know that, right? But I guess my question is there a place that we could get to where maybe you can't get the new Google Pixel, right? Or that Tesla Cybertruck has to be put on hold?
Hmm. Uh, well, yeah, no, there's. I'm trying to think. Um, I don't think we'll get to that point, but we will. I mean, we're already starting to slowly see the effects, right? So it's like the how hard it is to find the PlayStation 5, or
Yeah.
the Xbox Series X, or if you're in the PC community, how hard it is to find a new graphics card, one of the cool new graphics cards that's out. Um, so we're kind of slowly starting to see that point. Um, and I think it's going to be relatively long lasting,
That's crazy.
because at least from the research that I've looked at and stuff, and the stuff that I've read, uh, a lot of these manufacturers, these semiconductor manufacturers, are already at capacity. So they're already, chugging along, going as much as they can. And Um, that is, uh, and the only way to fix that is to make more factories. Well, you can make more factories, but it takes a long time, one, to build the new factory, and then two, to up your labor to be able to start manufacturing. And then it still takes a long time for everything to get to a point to where it's working properly. So I think it's going to be a long-term issue. I think I read somewhere that some of the sanctions on China also kind of led to some issues for the supply shortage, because um, some of the Chinese factories that created or made semiconductors essentially got shut down because of the sanctions, because they weren't able to get the materials that they needed.
Wow.
So that kind of killed some of their, that also uh, affected some of the shortages as well. So
Well, that's why I
yeah.
have to say that's why China is not ever really too scared of messing with us in a lot of ways. We've had evidence of them hacking and in very large capacities, very large scale. Very secret government stuff, and
Hmm.
that is what led to eventually those sanctions too. But um, they forced our hand. By no means do we want to sanction China because that just hurts us. You know what I mean? Um,
Exactly.
like what you're saying here. Um, so that's an interesting thing how global politics continues to play into this, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So I guess at the end of the day, you know, it sounds like the demand is just too high. We have too many products that require this kind of technology, and not enough factories or employees to supply it. So since that demand is so high, it seems like in most other situations, most other industries or companies, they
Hmm.
would have somebody, uh, or I'm sorry, that company would expand, right?
Hmm.
And add new factories, add new plants, add new workers. Why isn't that happening here?
Well, like I said, it is actually there. A lot of the companies are trying to expand, but I think the big problem is that the rate at which they will expand takes is going to take a long time. So they're already starting the process of doing the expansions. It's just we're just waiting at this point.
Hmm.
And then the pandemic didn't really help at all either, because when the pandemic hit, it um, crippled these companies from expanding, right? Because it's really hard to expand when you have to social distance and you have to do all these other things. So that also caused a lot of issues. So it's a multi-tier kind of issue, um, on why. And the thing is, too, there aren't that many semiconductor companies that are
Okay.
creating semiconductors. So
So you're saying
you
there's a
know
market opportunity here, is what I'm hearing.
there is, so we should probably start investing right now.
That's right. That's what I'm hearing.
Go
That's
ahead
what
and
I'm
start
hearing.
our own semiconductor factory.
Okay,
Um,
cool. Yeah, we got it. We
but
definitely have the capital for that.
exactly, it's all those shirt sales. Um, anyway, so um, yeah, it's like I said, it's a multi-tiered issue. It's There's only a few semiconductor companies out there that are creating or making semiconductors. Um,
Sure.
it's hard to expand when there's a pandemic going on, and it continues to kind of go down that cycle. And at the same time, demand probably isn't going to slow down anytime soon. So I think I saw some estimates of where people were saying we probably won't get out of this until 2022, halfway through 2022 or whatever like that. Um, because I think I saw one where it was talking about um, talking about GPUs, so some of the new graphics cards, and they
Hmm.
were saying that it'll take them about 5 quarters for them to finally catch up to demand, which is insane.
No, it
Um,
really is.
yeah, because that's the other thing, right? Just because you get new factories and you get new um, semiconductor companies, they still have to create those semiconductors, and then they have to fulfill, like they have to create the orders, and then they also have to still get it to the factory, to the other companies that are relying on these semiconductors to use, to do their part, and then still get it into your device, right? So it's still you still got three chains that you have to kind of work with.
Yeah,
So like I said, it's, you can make the semiconductors, but you can expand, get all your factories up to 100% going at it, but then there's still a lag between, by the time those semiconductors are created, and then by the time it gets to the other companies for them to do their job. Uh, so we're working through it. It's just
yeah,
another part of the pandemic, I guess.
right, right, yeah.
Also, kind of
Eh,
shows us how fragile our infrastructure is.
it does. I mean, so Spirit Aerosystems here in Wichita builds a large part of the 737 Max, so we know the trouble that has been going on with that.
Mm,
They may not. I'm sorry. The new orders that they've been receiving since late last year will not actually start being built until 2023 because they have such a backlog of these planes, which means that the furloughs and layoffs that they've done will
mm,
not return until at least that time. It'll be a
mm-hmm,
permanent impact, or at least a semi-permanent impact, because of the fact that they have so many already built, but the demand is low for these planes. So it's one of many industries that has taken a hit. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Uh,
mm-hmm,
so yeah, it will be interesting to see how long this lasts and how much of an impact it has. I mean, there's so many things. Whatever you're watching this on right now, whatever you're listening to this on, is impacted. Me doing all this, and even the uh, sounds I gave you earlier, right?
mm-hmm.
From this amp sim, um, that would be impacted. It's crazy. The demand that we have is so great right now. Um, so yeah, it's wild. The wide reaching impact of it all, but hopefully, I think a lot of things, at least pandemic related, are rebounding faster than people expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So um, so yeah, I think that maybe this will be the case too. Um, I know even our shirts were impacted for a while,
Yeah,
man.
I
That
know.
was one of the things I remember when we were getting involved in that, was the shipment of it all was delayed because of people having to quarantine and all this kind of stuff. So it's just another thing on the wide reaching impacts. And I will say, though, as the guy that I am, I would not be mad if technology slows down for a little bit because of this, right? The
Mm,
progression of.
mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same time, that probably wouldn't even be the case. Would it probably be a greater demand for newer, updated technology? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I'd probably say so. Because,
I say that because those upgrades would be more valuable then if you have to hold on to your current device for a longer time due to the lack of production capability.
yeah, exactly. And I also feel that the way, I guess, we have trained our consumers, is that you should always be expecting something new to be coming, say, 2 years from now. Um, and so if you were to say slow that down to be along the lines of like, well, you should always expect something new should to come out in 5 years. Um, it's a big mindset change. and
Yeah.
shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, it's like I said, interesting. One thing that you wouldn't think about, that you wouldn't think about
Mm-hmm.
being impacted and how it impacts you. So, yeah, it's a good topic, man. I'm glad we had the discussion on it because everybody's going to be hurt
Mm-hmm.
by it or affected some way. Depending on
Exactly.
how long
Exactly.
and why.
And we can kind of continue to cover this a little bit,
Oh,
later on.
for sure. Absolutely. We will in our continuing coverage brought to you by the Catchup podcast. Um, but yeah, man, I think we had a good discussion on this. It was a good episode. Glad we were
Mm-hmm.
able to catch up in a big way. And thank
Exactly.
you to those of you who jumped on the live stream on Friday night, man. We always appreciate that, especially that beautiful. I don't know how it is in Texas, but man, it's beautiful up here.
Oh
It's
no, it's been beautiful all week, really.
yeah, yeah. So definitely appreciate you guys doing that with all things considered. Um, so yeah, leave us the rate and review. Let us know how we did, what you liked, what you disliked. Um, every time we get a rating and a review, it helps the podcast grow. We learn from it, and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. So it really go a long way for you to literally just hit any amount of stars and type like you said. Please, that's all we're asking. I beg you for
Mm-hmm.
the love of God.
Exactly.
But yeah, then check out all the links that we talked about at the beginning of this episode. We got so many things coming soon. Thank you to those of you who jumped on the live stream, and thank you so much for catching up with us. And we'll catch up with you next week. There, stop that recording. We're still
Boom.
live.
Yeah, of course
Oh,
we are.
I wanted
Always,
to
man.
try. I know. I wanted to try something here.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna
Be a
try something.
live stream exclusive. Made it all the way to the end. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay. You gonna give people a live show?
I'm gonna try. I want to see if I can do this because if I can, this would be really cool. To do it. All these shows I'm gonna have to do. Okay. Let's see it. Okay, sounds cool. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I'm looking for. Let me take this off. We're not talking about this anymore. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, no, I need this. Here we go. Okay, so now. Okay, sweet. Mode. Looper. Oh, it's gonna get really confusing here. Okay. This is gonna get really weird. Okay. Let's get funky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, 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 da. What happened? There it is.
You kind of cut out there, man.
I know. Okay. It's crazy.
Okay, cool.
That's my best attempt. I've never looped anything before. It sounds pretty though.
Mm-hmm.
Right, let's try to go back. I'm gonna do this one more time. Right? No? Oh crap. There we go. I don't know how to clear all this. Well, I guess we'll find out. Okay, let's try this. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Hold
You're
on.
seeing it live, guys. You're seeing
I
the
know.
live music process.
I know. I'm trying to learn. I should probably face the crowd. What's up, everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's go.
There you go.
It's really super exclusive content. Should I do one more layer? Should I do one more layer? Or should I do like
one more?
Wait, where are you hearing though? Like, what do you think I should do?
Maybe something like a. Something like that. Not bad. That was terrible. That was really bad. This is getting pretty sick, actually. Oh my god, I messed it up again. Here we go. Oh man, I'm glad there isn't like 12 people watching this right now. They'd be like, this guy sucks at guitar. Heck yeah. There you go.
It's a little off time, but whatever. Okay, now it's just solo time. Just read Aaron's comment and it threw me off. That was when I said people are gonna say, "Wow, this guy sucks on guitar," and he goes, and he quacks like a duck. Oh my god! I gotta listen. I want to see what I can do. Hold on. Whoa!
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's really weird. But this is gonna be even weirder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Interesting.
Now, what if I put that in half speed? Woo! Whoa! That sounds crazy. That sounds so wild. Hold on. That'd be such a... Okay, how sick would it be on the real though? If I did something like this, but like used it, like did this, reversed it and put in halftime, and then used it for like a backing track.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Like a loop for like a Devon song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this is crazy. That's so wild. Dang. All right. Well, that became something I really didn't expect for it to. Thank you guys for indulging me with that. That's something to be fun. See, what you don't know. Total backing track. Yeah, dude, that Aaron, you just need to we need a collab, man. Get on the track, man. Aaron was sending me a really dope idea. I guess we can talk about it on here too. Oh god. He said, I have a test thing you can do for a game or something. Actually, this would be really cool to do for the podcast live stream. I feel like I don't know if you're intending that, but Uber versus DoorDash same night battle royale.
Exactly.
Whoever gets it there quicker and in better quality, it'd be pretty sick. I like that idea. I know you're.
That is
listening
a good
to it.
idea.
I know he's listening to me right now. Whoa. See, that gave me some tinnitus right there. So anyway, I'm gonna talk to him about it and make sure that idea becomes a reality. But yeah, man, I need to get out of here. I got some things going. So
yeah. No, me as well. But I think we had an amazing discussion and a great live stream.
I did too, man. That was a lot of fun. Sorry, I got carried away at the end there. It was
It's
wild.
all good, man.
But yeah, so anyway, I will or be a driver, see who makes more money on the city. Oh, that's actually such a sick idea. Okay, Denison, can we do that? You and me, when I come down to Texas, we DoorDash drive. That'd be sick.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh man, it'd be clean. We'll think of something. Either way, I like these ideas. So. All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys for catching up with us. And we'll catch up with you next week.